Hello, my name is Mike, and welcome back to the Council. We have just finished our investigation into who killed the young woman, Elizabeth Adams, and the conclusive answer was inconclusive. I didn't figure it out. So we're just gonna kind of put that on the side burner, just gotta put that behind us. Maybe we'll figure out who did it later. I suppose it's not all that important. The culprit's probably around here somewhere. For now, we're gonna go to the tower room, because apparently my mother was there recently, and might have left some clues as to where she went and why she isn't showing herself. So I can start poking around here, grabbing items, of course. Tasty caramelized water.
St. Paul on the road to Damascus by Caravaggio.
This guy's got a lot of stolen artwork.
There are burnt papers in the chimney.
Another message?
There's a legible fragment left. Hey, I recognize my mother's handwriting. She says, we must find a safer way to communicate. Someone is onto us. Trust in my faith in the man with the sword. So Mother had an accomplice here.
Napoleon?
Who could it be?
Or is that a riddle I need to deduce?
Who could she be suspicious of? I must find the next part. Faith, sword. I recognize her love of riddles there.
Well, we know Napoleon has a sword, but I think it might be a riddle around here. One of these paintings might have a sword or something like that.
What is this disc?
I found a disc, apparently. Can't do anything with it. Just take it. This door is locked.
Door appears to be locked on the other side.
Can I break it down? Apparently I can open it.
I think I heard something fall to the ground.
Oh.
A metallic sound, like a key falling to the floor.
Dang it! If I had thrown the paper underneath the door, I could have pulled it out. I could just pick the lock for a skill point. I could force the door open for a skill point. I can use the disc? Can I?
We'll see if it works.
It's magnetic! Okay. A couple of different ways I could have solved that, it looks like.
It's open.
Now I've got access. Well, let's search around from the right side to left.
St. Paul painted by Guido Reni. St. Paul is shown holding a sword. Strange. There's hardly any dust, as if the painting's been cleaned recently. There's a small inscription engraved on the frame. Let's take a closer look. This is how Paul spoke to his pilgrims from Rome. Just above that, someone's written down the figure 11 on the painting and underlined it twice. I don't know, what does that mean?
11. I can think about the secret code. It's a good thing I have the option of doing this, because I am terrible at thinking.
So we have the figure 11 twice underlined, and a story of a group of pilgrims who it looks like Paul is speaking to. Maybe it's a code. There must be a connection. A text on Paul must be somewhere, and it must be associated with the figure 11. But what's the story with these pilgrims? I mean, a connection with the figure, maybe?
Your guess would be as good as mine. And we're done. Figure 11. Okay. Try and keep that number in mind. Might be important.
The New Testament.
Oh, sure. We'll just start scrolling through Bible passages until we find something that helps us. Oh, there's a lot of different things I can analyze here. The Gospel according to Mark? Oh, God. No, there's a lot of different things I can scroll through. I've got the entire Bible at my disposal, the entire New Testament. I'll come back to this, I guess. After I analyze the book. What is it? Is it a Bible?
A volume of the Gutenberg Bible.
I guess we'll check Epistles of Paul 2:2. That might be relevant. Epistles to... I guess we'll go through them all. No, there's a lot of different things here. Ugh!
Let's take a closer look. This is how Paul spoke to his pilgrims from Rome.
So, to the Romans, and the number 11 is underlined twice. We'll try Epistles of Paul 1:2. Epistle to the Romans. 11:11?
I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? God forbid, but rather through their fall, salvation is come unto the Gentiles, for to provoke them to jealousy. Oh, wait, a note from Mother is carefully folded between the pages here. What does it say? Dear E, I'm glad you found this note. I was afraid the code of the two groups of pilgrims would mislead you. Pick up the package. You know where, and hide it where no one will find it. It's imperative. Awaiting your reply, hidden behind the youngest apostle. What? The youngest apostle? What does Mother mean by that?
Looks like I have to look through a couple more paintings. Who was the youngest apostle? I feel like I'm learning so much about biblical history. What's behind this painting?
It's too cumbersome for me to unhook here, but judging by the dust, it hasn't been moved for months, if not years.
I could inspect the dusty piece of furniture, but if it's dusty, why bother?
There are finger marks, deliberately drawn in the dust. 8 in all.
So I'm looking for an 8-fingered person. Well, that rules out my mother, because she's apparently only got 5 at the moment.
No, nothing of value here.
Boy, are you serious? Those candlesticks are probably pretty pricey, especially if you're buying millions of them for your mansion.
Little characters are engraved on the chest of drawers under the urn. It's a sentence in Hebrew.
Ooh, I know what that means, because I am fluent in all languages.
It says, count in the dust.
8.
All right, let's do it.
We already counted 8. Actually, this painting is of an apostle that doesn't have a beard. That might be the youngest one.
St. John is the only apostle painted in this gallery who hasn't got a beard. Hey, wait! That means it's him. He's the youngest apostle.
Or he's Spanish.
Right. This painting is therefore associated with the answer which E had to give to my mother. Now, I just need to know how to recover the answer.
Tell me your secrets, John.
The painting looks like it's been taken down recently. What was it my mother said? That she would wait for an answer hidden behind the apostle. Ah, of course. There's something written behind the painting. On the second day, the pilgrims will listen to the prophecy of the young apostle. They shall add 1 companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their rank. What does it mean?
Come on, Mother. Why do you love riddles so much? They're so obnoxious. And I can't even figure it out. I don't have logic or occultism. No! 1 to the left and 3 to the right. Am I hanging up paintings? Is that how I do this? 1 to the left, 3 to the right. Well, we got Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. If it's 1 to the left and 3 to the right, then I guess we could check in between Matthew and Mark. Right? Check at the very end of... I'm probably off on the wrongest course that's possible here.
And said, for this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh.
Oh, that's romantic, but doesn't help me. Mother, are you vandalizing the Bible for your stupid riddles? Why do you have to do this? Couldn't you just be forthright? This is so tedious.
Because we look not at the things that are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal.
I'm not gonna lie, this is an incredibly boring part of the game. I praise this game for being different and making advancements that Telltale hasn't made, but at least Telltale knew how to keep pace of their game. This has just been a grinding halt. I don't have the skills to unlock the next step in the game. I just got Paul and the number 4, and now I just have to scroll through Bible pages until I figure out which of these thousands of verses is the one I need. I just have to look at... There are so many places I could look. I could look at the epistles, maybe one of his to the Romans, which specific verse. There's so many different options that I can't scroll through all of these different verses and figure out which one it is. There's gotta be so... this is so frustrating.
In him God has chosen us before the foundation of the world, that we may be holy and blameless before him.
Just shake the book! If Mother's left notes inside the book, just shake the book! Let the note fall out! Stop wasting my time! Well, it was of Paul, so it's gotta be one of these books of Paul. I guess I'll check all 32 options until I figure out which of these options is the one I'm supposed to have deduced as the one. Since I have no other options here.
Wherefore, as by one man sin understandeth, there is none that seeketh after God. Glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God. The Jews require a sign, and the Greeks seek after wisdom. Now, therefore, there is utterly a fault among you, because ye go to law with one another. Why do ye not rather suffer injustice? Why do ye not rather suffer yourselves to be defrauded? Ah, look, here's a message. It is of paramount importance that no one finds it. Watch out for the Prussian. He's on the trail. Let's meet up. I'll leave it to you to organize the rendezvous. Not today. I'm unable to do it. In the meantime, I'll follow the first group to Mark, who will reveal the answer to them. Prussian? Volner? I must have a word with him.
Hooray! We figured it out! I feel like I'm in a bit of a foul mood, having not been able to solve the murder of the young girl, and then having to go through this dumb riddle that my mother left for me. This game is really putting me off sudden fierce. We're not allowed to leave yet. For some reason, we are locked in here. There is still some more we have to do with this riddle. Okay. Looks like I'm not talking to Von Wollner just yet. I've got to go thumbing through the Bible a little more, it looks like.
Hey, there's a note here. A message from Mother in reply to E. We must leave urgently, but first I absolutely must go beyond the nightmare. Watch out for Volner. He figured out I was avoiding him. Allay suspicion. See you tomorrow evening. Stand ready. For now, let's cease all communication until we meet. Take care of yourself. I suppose this must be the last message. What happened afterward? If it's what I suspect, I fear the worst. What did Mother mean by, I absolutely must go beyond the nightmare? I must go beyond the nightmare.
Well, she capitalized nightmare.
What does she mean by that?
It's probably allegorical. One of these things has got to be the nightmare.
I'm guessing it's a metaphor. I need to figure out what this means.
Well, I guess I've deciphered what I can of the message. Looks like my mother was a bit skeevy, bit sketchy of Von Wollner. Alright, good to know. She doesn't trust him, for whatever reason. I discovered my mother's message! I did not understand my mother's message. Yeah, this episode feels like a big failure, alright. Apparently there were no alternate paths, either. Apparently, refusing to indicate a culprit to Lord Mortimer is considered to be a success. If you say so, game. Feels like I failed there, too. Okay, where are we putting points today? We got 4 points available. I guess we'll round out psychology. That only requires 2 points. And 1 into occultism. There. Now we've got that skill. And 1 final point can go into... I suppose putting it into logic wouldn't be a bad idea. Sure, we'll put it into logic. And now we can equip 3 manuscripts, you say? Really? Okay. Well, yeah, let's get logic up, because Lord knows we need more logic. Etiquette, diversion, I think I'm good on a lot of that. This one will give me 3 skill points, 1 in science, linguistics, and erudition. So yeah, let's read the encyclopedia. Seems smart. And we'll put 1 more in erudition. So at the end of next chapter, I should have, well, a couple more skill points close to the end.
It's time I went back and joined everyone in the small salon.
How about this guy? This guy who's got a weakness to everything. Do you have anything you want to give to me? Maybe a little bit of a clue here, clue there?
You are expected in the small salon, sir.
Oh, you're just blocking my path. Cool, have fun with that.
Emily, I must speak to you.
What's the matter, Louis? About last night, I'm guessing.
Sadly, no. Even if I'd like to have, alas, there are more pressing matters. I have news about your sister.
What have you found out?
Look, I've started piecing together the events leading up to my mother's disappearance and your sister's. Did my mother know about your secret?
Yes, even though I belong to the English chapter, her rank in the order gives her access to a good deal of personal information.
It must have been Emma I saw in my vision. I was given to understand that my mother and your sister bonded during their stay.
Don't send her on my mother's trail. Yes, let's manipulate her a little bit.
If Mother's really killed her sister, I'd better find her by myself. They say they spent a lot of time together. They got along well.
Oh, really? Do you think your mother liked Duchess Hillsborough?
Yes!
Of course she did. After all, she's your sister. Well, we'll find them, Emily. Trust me. Should I speak to her about my vision? If what I saw is true, She might want to take revenge.
No, I think we're just gonna keep that to ourselves for now.
I better keep that to myself for the time being.
Come, Louis. They're waiting for us.
What am I gonna tell her? I had a bad dream in which your sister died? No, let's not break the news we don't even know. We don't know for
You
certain.
will pay dearly, Peru. I'm sure you were involved somewhere along the line.
That's right. Pretend you don't know. One piece of advice. Don't travel through France on your way back, or it'll cost you dearly.
Calm now, my friends. Let's calm down. Everyone seems to be a little unnecessarily heated. Don't forget where you are, please.
What's going on here exactly?
Sir Gregory called us together to introduce the last guest.
But hardly had we arrived when he set upon Monsieur Peru.
Who is this mysterious final guest?
And who is this charming character?
Manuel Godoy, the Duke of La Alcudia.
He's the head of the Spanish government, Monsieur de Richet. He's the one who, in practice, controls Spain.
How could you dare do such a thing? Dios mío, you are all out of your minds!
Really, Duke Manuel? What made you kick up such a fuss?
What? Have you not heard? Well, let me inform you that yesterday morning at 10:22 a.m. precisely, in the middle of the Place de la Révolution in Paris, by decree of the National Convention which Monsieur Peru works for, King Louis was guillotined. What?
Oh, no.
The King of France is dead, gentlemen. Our monarchies are in danger. I have said it before. How dare they?
Oh dear.
Oh, as if...
Oh no!
Friends, let us calm down.
Don't pretend to be surprised. He got a fair trial.
Ridiculous! Bastard! He was sentenced to death by 361 votes to 360. You beheaded a king for one vote! Is that your democracy?
What an obnoxious act. Until anything was possible. This political coup will have grave consequences.
France is lost.
Gentlemen, please. Let us take a step back a moment.
In the name of holiness. He was the highest representative of God in France, Emily.
Let's try and calm things down a little bit, shall we?
Gentlemen, Duchess, we're all among people of reputable company here. We should be able to manage the conflicts of our nations in a respectful and orderly manner.
I fully agree with you, sir.
But
That's enough, sir.
with whom do I have the pleasure of speaking?
Louis Maras de Richet.
Are you related to Sarah de Richet?
Sarah is his mother, Duke.
He was asking me, not you.
Gentlemen, this news affects us all, but I must ask you to remain calm. It's not the first time history has taken us by surprise. Let's ensure that our respective countries are allowed to respond appropriately to this news.
Oh, rest assured. The response will not fall short, my friend.
Good for you. Well, Your Grace, here I was preparing to introduce you as is proper, and you've beaten me to it. I'm delighted that we are all together at last. Our meeting will therefore be able to kick off shortly. I have just a few more little preparations to take care of before you all find out the reason for your presence here. In the meantime, I shall leave you to get to know one another. When you hear the bell, please proceed to the conclave room on my left, behind that door. I'll see you later.
Okay. Goodbye.
Could you spare a moment, please, sir?
I'm glad you asked. I want to talk to you too. Of course.
Yes. Ooh, a confrontation.
I heard about your mother's disappearance.
Oh, he looks concerned. I don't know why, but I doubt it's from sympathy alone. Well, let's see what he wants from me.
Any news of her? Have you found her, maybe?
Why do you ask? Ooh, this is possible. Does he know her? Do you know my mother?
To hear you speak, you seem to know my mother well.
Not really. We met for the first time on this very spot some weeks back. We had a very pleasant discussion. She's an exceptionally learned lady with a good head for business. No need for me to tell you that.
I agree.
Did she tell you about our arrangement?
So this is why he's so interested. Prompt him. I don't know if I can manipulate him. Does psychology is a weakness to a lot of people, but is it his weakness? I don't know.
The cat's out of the bag now.
More or less, but please do refresh my memory.
Yes, of course. Nothing of great importance in itself. During one of our discussions, she spoke of an old book, which might have been of interest to me, and she had agreed to let me have it.
A book about what?
Ancient occultism. As you are aware, I am a doctor of theology. You might have come across some old books in her belongings, perhaps?
Maybe I have. He looks obsessed. Yeah, sure. I guess we'll go with that. I don't know if manipulation would work on him, but I know this does, so you do seem to be a bit obsessed, if you don't mind me saying, sir.
The least one can say is that he doesn't beat around the bush. Sarah never travels without a few books. What does the one you're looking for look like exactly?
It resembles a grimoire. It's divided into 7 parts, each one individually locked. It was made in such a way that if someone tried to tamper with it, the sheets would be permanently tarnished. It's a unique copy. There's only one.
The mere mention of it makes his face light up.
I see.
Well, I'll take a closer look, but I can't promise you anything. You seem very upset. Is it so important to you, this book?
Well, it's the search of a lifetime. What can I say? Every time I move closer to it, it seems to slip away at the last minute. I was very surprised to learn that your mother had it in her possession. I thought it was with a certain von Borchardt in Paris. Do you know him?
Do I know von Borchardt? Absolutely not. I could lie to him. I could say yes. I could try and manipulate him. I don't know if it's gonna work. Manipulation. Yeah, I can try and manipulate him. Let's try this. I don't think it's gonna work, though.
Indeed. One of your close friends?
No, not really, but we were close once. Precisely over the case that concerns us now, because he claimed to have the book I'm looking for.
Another dishonest person. What can you say? Can't trust anyone these days, huh?
No. You can't.
I'm glad that worked.
I hope I've been able to satisfy your curiosity, Mr. von Wollner, and that you succeed in finding what you're looking for.
Oh, and so do I.
And now, what if you told me who you really are working for, instead of keeping up this pretense?
I beg your pardon?
We both know what you're looking for, von Wollner. You're the one who von Borchardt was planning to sell it to.
For centuries, all those who have come into contact with the Al-Azif have bitterly regretted it, Monsieur de Richet. You are playing a dangerous game. Please know that I am working for someone who does not appreciate anyone poking around in his business.
Let me guess.
Oh, crap, I gotta guess. The King of Prussia seems like the obvious guess. I don't even remember who Holm is. It's been such a while since I played the last episode. I don't think you're talking about Mortimer. The King of Prussia seems so obvious.
Your dear king, I should think.
What? You mean Frederick William? Oh, my poor fellow. You are miles away. That stupid, pretentious puppet wields no real power. But seeing as you do not wish to be serious, so be it. Good luck to you.
Well, says it was a successful confrontation. Doesn't really feel like it, does it? But we do know he's looking for a grimoire now. Napoleon seems a bit stressed. He's getting beaten in chess by an empty chair. Yeah, I would be mentally warped by that as well, I suppose.
Monsieur Bonaparte, may I speak with you a moment?
May we?
Do you know about a nightmare? I had a nightmare once. It was terrifying.
Does expression go beyond the nightmare mean anything to you at all?
Well, metaphorically, yes. It sums up the career of a soldier quite well. I doubt that is what you want to hear, though.
Indeed. That's surely not what I'm looking for.
No.
Well, monsieur, if you are looking for a phrase book, Lord Mortimer must surely have one, given the number of books he has. You ought to check in the library of the tower. You never know.
Oh, good. Scrolling through more books trying to find a hidden message? I hope that's not what I have to do. What's your opinion on Godoy, the Spanish guy that just showed up?
What do you think of Duke Godoy?
Well, I'd rather not express any opinion of him.
Why's that?
His reputation is enough for me.
He doesn't give a damn about his reputation.
I'm sure that a soldier such as yourself is not interested in vulgar rumors.
Quite right. If only this cursed gossip didn't come to stain the uniform he has the audacity to wear.
Don't you find him worthy?
But how could he be, monsieur? He never sets foot on the battlefield, too occupied with charming the queen. Have you any idea of the number of titles that coward has won in just a few years?
No, not really.
10! And that Don Juan spends the best part of his time under the queen's skirts. The bugger must have some hidden talent, given all of the gifts she gives him.
I understand your point of view.
I see. Looking down upon this guy because he's not a man of the people like yourself. Okay, I see where you're coming from on that. Tell me more about this coming conference. It's probably exciting, wouldn't you say?
Would you have any more information about the conference Lord Mortimer spoke of?
Nothing at all. Mortimer is very committed to secrecy when it comes to his conferences. But given the presence of Monsieur Peru and ourselves, I think it must concern France to some extent. Otherwise, I doubt he would have invited 3 Frenchmen to his table, huh?
And a couple of French women. I guess just my mother. Well, goodbye.
Well, I'll be leaving you now. Shall we meet up again later?
Wait, monsieur. Any news of your mother?
Unfortunately not, no.
I hope to speak with her about my deal before I leave. Let me know if you find her. À plus tard, monsieur.
Ah, that Napoleon. Always thinking about business. And how he can lose the best at chess. Actually, yeah, it looks like Napoleon is playing as the white set of pieces, and the opponent is the black set. And the black set has a lot of stronger pieces on the board. Napoleon has lost his queen already, which is not great. Especially considering that he also just lost his king! Ah, ha, ha, ha. I'm ending right here, and we'll pick this investigation up next time. Until then, see you later. My name is Mike, and this has been The Council. Thank you for joining me.